Hey everyone, welcome back to Ragtag Stacking. Today's video, I want to talk a little bit about inflation and some of the ways that it's going to be affecting us in the near future. And I know we've talked about it a lot. As stackers, we know that the stacking silver is a very good hedge against inflation. I suggest you put some of your fiat currency into precious metals. Just seeing the way that the U.S. government has gone about talking about inflation, at least, they're suggesting that it's just going to be a short-term thing. It's only transitory. It's not going to have a long-term effect. It's only going to be short-term. But I have a feeling that's not exactly the truth, judging by what's been going on and how people are reacting, and just everything that I've been seeing with people saying, you know, inflation is already here and it's here to stay. And I actually found another article here today that I'm going to show you that's going over some of the ways that it will directly affect you. And after reading the article, you know, I felt good about my decision to start stacking. You know, I don't put all of my money into silver. Like I've said before, that's not the best option to do for a lot of people. Some people might have, you know, an unlimited budget so that they don't have to worry about what they spend. But for me, I do have to pay attention to my budget and how much I'm actually putting towards precious metals, particularly silver. So yes, I'm very happy with my decision to start stacking metals. I know it's a little bit late. I got into it in 2020. But yeah, I'm very happy that I did. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump onto the computer and I'm just going to show you the article here where it's talking about the hit that inflation is going to take on our day-to-day lives. Okay, so this article is from fee.org, and fee is, where is it up here? It's Foundation for Economic Education. And okay, it says 3 ways rising price inflation hurts everyday Americans. And then moving down here, it says proponents of big government spending and money printing tried to downplay April data showing surging consumer prices as just a temporary adjustment. But the new data for May are out now, and they show price inflation shooting up even higher. So I will leave a link in the article if you want to go through the entire article here and go through this tweet here where it lists some things and the percentage that it's gone up compared to May 2020. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go down here to the 3 things that they're talking about. Number 1 is directly cutting your paycheck. So that this level of price inflation is essentially the same as an additional chunk of your income was confiscated in taxes from May 2020 to May 2021. Why? Well, the real value of your check isn't based on the dollar value, but on what those dollars can buy you. So basically, even if your income remained unchanged, you're likely to be somewhat poorer now than you were a year ago. So yeah, that's what inflation does. It definitely affects the buying power of the money that's in your hands. It's not that, it's still, you know, it's paper money, so that $100 on there is still going to say $100, but of course it means nothing because it's backed by nothing. So the amount that you can get with that $100 bill in your hand is just going to continue to be devalued, and you're going to get it less and less and less with that $100 bill. So yes, that does make sense that it's directly cutting into your paycheck because you're not going to be able to get as many goods with the same amount of money that you usually made. And here the second one is eroding your savings. So if you saved money over the last year responsibly planning for the future or building up for a rainy day fund, it's now eroded in real value because the same amount of money buys you less than before. So same thing basically with the paycheck, where you know you get your paycheck and you put it towards your bills and things like that. That's going to be affected. Well, the money that you're just putting off to the side and having it sit there do nothing, you know, you might be getting some interest in a bank account and stuff like that, or a savings account. But if you were to move some of that into the precious metals, then the precious metals, like we've mentioned before, you've heard on stacking channels, it can't just be printed into infinity like these fiat dollars. So if you were to move some of those dollars into the physical, you'll be hedging against the inflation that's happening. And of course, I know that, you know, we still do live in a world where cash basically covers everything that you need to do with like bills and just groceries and all that stuff. We're still in a system where you do need cash. So, you know, you can't just put all of your money into the silver because there's problems with that as well. So taking some money that, you know, you wouldn't miss if it was gone and putting it into silver that you don't think about touching for 10 years, go ahead, pick up some silver and start, you know, protecting yourself a little bit against the inflation that's happening. And the third one down here is the stealth taxation. While the causes of inflation are complex, it's at least in part driven by federal monetary policy. Well, I mean, it's not too complicated, and I don't think, I mean, it plays a pretty big part, the federal monetary policy, where their policies basically print up as much money as we need. But let's see here. After all, the Federal Reserve has printed trillions of dollars as part of the government's stimulus effort. This monetary inflation is almost certainly fueling much of the consumer price inflation we're seeing. So yeah, I would use stronger wording than almost certainly fueling, because it's basically the reason why, inflation is coming because we're printing up all this money, and for them to just say, it might be a problem. We've printed trillions of dollars out of nowhere, but it might be the issue here. Yeah, and government-driven inflation is essentially a hidden form of taxation. The ability to inflate currency to stealth tax citizens matters politically, aside from the erosion of incomes and savings, because it enables politicians to grow the government and spend more taxpayer money than they would be able to get away with if they actually had to directly raise people's taxes. And then here it says, big picture, ultimately this is just one set of data. We still don't know how big of a problem price inflation will be in the near future. I'm guessing it will be a pretty big problem in the near future. But it's an important reminder of the various ways government cause inflation hurts everybody. No matter what rate we ultimately experience, we should all keep this in mind. So yeah, that's the article there. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the description if you want to reread through the whole thing. I did skip over a few bits just to get down to the three ways they were talking about there. But yeah, no, I'm very happy with my decision to start stacking silver. As I said, I haven't been doing it for a while, just started back in 2020, but it's been one of the best decisions that I've made. And yeah, no, I'm very happy, and I'm not looking back. I'm just looking forward and looking for more opportunities to pick up silver and gold for my stack. So yes, that's the article. I thought you guys would enjoy it, especially if you're new to stacking. I can tell by some of the comments in my past videos that some people are brand new to the stacking scene. And I know if you've been in it for a while, you know the benefits of stacking silver and how it does affect, how it does actually help hedge against inflation and things like that. But if you're just brand new to it and you're just trying to learn as much as you can, I thought this article might be a good source for you, or a good read, just so that you can understand how inflation will affect you and your fiat currency, and how placing that fiat currency into a system that can't be inflated and has a finite material will help you against the ever-changing inflation rates, and how they continue to say it's not going to be a big deal. It's not. It's only a transitory thing. It's just a short term that you have to worry about. I don't think anyone believes that. I don't know why they keep trying to push that line, you know what I mean? I've heard it a couple of times now, just mixed, and it's always been met with eye rolls and laughter and just dismissal, because nobody believes that this is just going to be a short-term thing, and with the snap of a finger everything's going to go back to normal. I don't know how, if you're actually paying attention, you could believe the things that they're saying from the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell and Janet Yellen, all of them. It seems like they are given their walking orders and their talking orders, and they have to say what they're told to say, even if it doesn't make sense. And unfortunately, there's not a lot you can do about it, other than stacking silver or trying to find ways to make sure you get as much out of your money as possible, maintain as much wealth before the inflation gets to it, and just try and protect yourself. There's only so much you can do, you know what I mean? You can't control the big world and all the governments in it. They're going to do what they want, and they really don't care too much about how it affects the day-to-day lives of people. So yeah, we're in it, the thick of things right now. We're in it. So if you haven't started picking up precious metals to hedge against inflation, there's still time. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments how you guys have been trying to weather this inflation storm. If you guys have been picking up more silver than you used to, or less, because the premiums are still affecting the silver. So I know some people haven't been picking up as much as they'd want to. But for me, I have been picking up here and there as much as I can, trying to look for good deals. And yeah, can't hurt to get some more fiat into silver to help against the rising inflation that, like I keep saying, seems like it's here to stay. But anyways, like I said, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you come back for the next one. Thank you.